Blah, 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 blah. Day 52 of the 100 Days of Narration Challenge. And we are into day 4 of Shitlit Week. Shitlit Week. That wasn't my name. That was a name suggested by someone who commented on one of my videos. Mike, aka Mike. Which I thought was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful name for this week. So, Shitlit series it is. Shitlit Week. Shitlit Week this is. And that's Mike, aka Mike. That's his actual full username, Mike, aka Mike. The first Mike being the normal M-I-K-E, and then AKA as in also known as M1KE. The second Mike is M1KE. So, now that you're thoroughly confused about what I just said, let us go to the book that I'm going to read today. And today's book is going to be a romance novel. A romance novel by Sandra Hill called Rough and Ready. Apparently there were misquoted text from her book of some kind, which became a mimetic meme. Mimetic meme? Can I really say that? I don't know. A meme of some kind. And they weren't actually from her book. I can't remember what the meme was. I'm sure someone would be kind enough to comment on this video and remind me of what it was. But it was incredibly ridiculous. But the book itself is not quite as ridiculous as the meme is, but it's still a bit embarrassing. It makes me wonder, is this really what women read? Is this really what women read? I mean, I don't mean to bag on romance novels in general, but it seems to be that most of the books I've chosen for this week, for Shitlit Week, is really, really horrible romance novels written by sad, lonely women, or maybe happily married women who lead a very fantastic sexual fantasy life, and that's great for them. Anyway, Rough and Ready by Sandra Hill is a it's a time traveling Viking story where, I'm just gonna read the blurb and then you can judge it from there. From national best-selling author Sandra Hill comes the thrilling tale of a rough and ready Navy SEAL who embarks on the most dangerous voyage of his life, through time. A mission of no mercy. It takes nothing short of a miracle to catapult Lieutenant Torolf Magnusson and his team of Navy SEALs back in time to the 11th century Norselands. First on the agenda, destroy the evil villain who terrorized his family and a nation. And then the next title is A Surrender So Sweet. But when the sexy seals find they've landed in the middle of a sanctuary filled with women, well, hoo-yah! Their plans are put on hold, much to the distress of Hilda, the head of the sanctuary. At first, resistant to Torolf's pursuit, she soon succumbs to his passionate advances. Suddenly, the term Special Forces takes on a whole new meaning. But with victory in sight for Torolf, Hilda must face the fact that their love may not survive the test of time. So that's right. Okay. Maybe this is the reason why I just stopped reading books in general. Just stopped. Because if something like this can get into print, then what's the point? What is the point of life? What is the point of life in general? This horrible, horrible machinations that we subject ourselves to every day to read this sort of thing. No, that's not fair. I mean, it's not to my taste, but obviously there are many, many, many women around the world, and possibly men too. In fact, probably a few men, who want to be a sexy seal who's like in the middle of a sanctuary filled with Norse women from the 11th century. I'm sure there's an audience for that amongst men as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure there isn't. I'm pretty sure there are porn titles based upon this concept right now, somewhere. Time-traveling seals in 11th century Norse, the Northlands. Anyway, so that was the blurb for the back. Let's go and actually read a couple of pages from the actual novel. Okay. Courage, Edwin. Courage. You can do this. This is not the worst thing that you will read this week. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse with each passing day. Okay. So, all right, we're starting where I don't actually have the book, so I'm reading the free samples they have on Amazon, which conveniently enough comes in like sets of 4 pages for previews. So here we go, starting from page 75. Rough and ready. Stead, and 50 or so at least of these other smaller estates. He also has a fleet of at least 10 longships raiding along the coastlines, and those have 50 men each, Britta said. Oh, it's a lady. He winters at Norstead. I'm gonna talk like this now for all the ladies, all the breathless ladies and their heaving bosoms, and then we'll just keep going. Geek appeared to be calculating numbers in his head. You do not appear to be daunted by those numbers, Hilda observed to Torolf. That isn't a huge force considering how many estates he's invaded. Plus, splintered. Isn't he absorbing the vanquished soldiers into his ranks? Nay, he either kills them on the spot, tortures, and then kills them, or a fortunate few flee into the hills. Cage tapped his chin thoughtfully. I wonder if there are friendlies, people who would join our cause. Yep, force multiplication, Torolf agreed. Special forces did it all the time in the third world countries that the U.S. wanted to help maintain a democracy, like Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia. They taught the indigenous people to protect themselves because it takes white people to teach the indigenous population, the brownskins, in order to protect themselves because, they have no idea how to protect themselves at all because they are just a bunch of backwards third world countries and they need the white man to swoop down and protect them. Sorry, that was my little political commentary. And that wasn't fair either. I mean, the U.S. has helped a lot more places than they have harmed, I hope, because the alternative is that we live in a horrible future where the U.S. Sends military troops everywhere for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And that's not a present I would like to live in. Anyway, we shall keep going, shall we, before this becomes an absolute explosion of politics and whatnot, military pursuits, private military contractors. Keep going. Possibly, Britta said, but we have been reluctant to seek themselves ourselves for fear of capture. In truth, how would we know friend from foe? We've got to set up a mission plan, Torolf said. What kind of plan? Britta was still skeptical. Mission analysis, development of alternative courses of action, intelligence, specific course of action and tasking of personnel, planning and more planning, briefings, rehearsals. Methinks you all think too much, Britta observed. Old wind and no sails. I've got wind and sails, Pretty Boy told her. Blow the other way, then, Britta replied. To the group, Pretty Boy said, I think she likes me. These men, especially Torolf, were forever making jests. People who actually use that as a term in books. Anyway. Timing is everything, Torolf told Britta. A good beginning is half the work. But there are so many of them, and so few of us, Hilda pointed out. An army of sheep led by a lion could defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. After handling dozens of smelly, dirty, dumb sheep yestermorn, I hope you are not likening us women to sheep, Hilda said with a surprising stab at humor. Never underestimate a Navy SEAL, Torolf told her, as if that made any sense to her. Cunning is always better than strength, but cunning with strength, that's the best. Will you be helping me train the women here? Britta addressed Torolf. We can start this afternoon and continue every afternoon. By the time we get active, we should have at least a dozen training sessions. Not enough, but it'll have to do. This is gonna only be the most basic training, Pretty Boy told Britta with more seriousness than he'd previously used around her before. Navy SEALs come to training with very buff bodies and a fair amount of skills. It takes 3 years of training to make them what they are today, and even we need to continue training on a regular basis. Britta's mouth was agape at first, but then she clicked it shut and asked, Am I supposed to be impressed by that? Hopefully, Pretty Boy replied with a laugh, and then pinched her backside for good measure, which caused Britta to pinch his backside back. Oh, baby, I love it when you touch my ass. Several serving maids carried food to their table, then so they could break their fast. The other women were streaming into the hall as well to eat their first meal of the day. They all stared down at their group with interest, but knew not to approach unless given permission by Hilda. And next page, on their table was day-old manchet bread. Manchet bread? Was day-old manchet bread, porridge, cheese, and hunks of leftover lamb, with goat's milk for washing it down. Even a bowl of creamed onions, which Torolf looked at, then turned and winked at Hilda, recalling her comment of the night before. I guess it's some kind of a sex thing, isn't it? A bowl of creamed onions. Yes, it's oh god, I just realized what that meant. Creamed onions. I haven't read the page where that came from, but I think I can guess what that means now. That's a horrible thought to pop into my head. Thanks a lot. I'm not going to get that out now. Thanks a lot, Sandra Hill. You just put it in there. Fuck. Okay, keep going. The men began to eat with gusto, helping themselves to liberal amounts of various dishes. What is this? Jam asked, sniffing at the cheese. God, it smells worse than Limburger. Gamble lost, Torolf said with a laugh. Legend says that Gamble lost contributed to King Harold Fairhair's victory at the Battle of Haresford. Oh my god, I don't know how. I have no idea how Norse people pronounce that. That's Hafrsfjo. Try it again. Hafrsfjord. Now I know the J part is meant to be pronounced like a Y. I knew that mainly because I watched Thor, where they pronounce Mjolnir as Mjolnir. Sorry, Mjolnir, which has a J in it. Mjolnir. You think it's Mjolnir, but no, it's Mjolnir. Mjolnir, like a cat. Mjolnir. But sorry, pardon me. And I don't know. I've never heard that particular kind of cheese before. Gammelost. Gammelost? I don't know. Okay, whatever. We'll try that again. Trying that Hafrsfjord. Oh god, Hafrsfjord. Okay, we'll try it with that. Just Hafrsfjord. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing the RSF in there. What the hell is that? Hafrsfjord. Whatever. Gammelost, Torolf said with a laugh. Legend says that Gammelost contributed to King Harold Fairhair's victory at the Battle of Haresford more than 100 years ago. He supposedly fed his warriors Gammelost for lunch prior to battle, thus turning them into berserkers. It smells like it could walk by itself, Jam said, his nose turned up with distaste. And I prefer to go berserk on my own, thank you very much. They all laughed, and no one protested when the dish was shoved down the table, away from them. After the meal, Torolf took Hilda's hand again and urged, Come, walk with me. I have some questions and need answers. Ask me here? No. Why? I want to be alone with you when I ask. This is a sex scene, isn't it? We're going to a sex scene now. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go into the sex scene. Okay. That's a half page, and it's chapter 7. Okay. Chapter 7. When testosterone has a mind of its own. Oh. Torolf and Hilda walked hand in hand. He had a death grip on their linked fingers, down the moat and towards the fjord where the longship had wrecked. Her blasted dog, Stig, nipped at his heels the whole time, till the beast spotted a squirrel in the distance and practically did somersaults trying to catch it. At least it kept his doggy mind off Torolf's leg. Squirrel. Okay, Torolf liked holding hands with Hilda. He wasn't sure why, because he enjoyed irritating her, yeah, that was part of it, but he also had this melting sort of sensation in the region of his heart as his calloused palm pressed against her calloused palm. They're both calloused. Why would you point this out? You know, as his calloused palm pressed against her calloused palm. Okay, whatever. He fancied that the pulse beats at their wrists blended into one rhythm. All of this was new to Torolf. And scary. Sex was usually tops on his agenda with women. He didn't have female friends, just work acquaintances. There were no female SEALs, but they did work with military, and the sentence ends there. And, yeah, I think we've heard enough from this particular book. Yeah. It's not nearly as bad as the as that meme mentioned that I can't remember right now. God, I should probably have read out the meme instead. That would have been more hilarious, but still kind of sad that this sort of thing gets out onto the marketplace, along with the writings of Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett and a whole bunch of modern classics. Great writers, great female writers, great male writers, and then there's stuff like this, which sells. I'm assuming it sells. It's well, who am I to judge what is or is not worth printing onto paper and then killing trees to make said paper for? Anyway, so that was week 52 of the 100 Days of Narration Challenge, Rough and Ready by Sandra Hill. I hope you enjoyed this entry into Shitlit Week. Thank you once again to Mike, aka Mike, for suggesting that particular name for this particular week. And I hope you stick around for tomorrow, where I will read more of this madness things. All right, see you guys then.